I have money to pay for my car note. It's $1,374. I just paid $800 towards it today because it's due on the 31st. I was like, okay, I bought this car. I can pay for it, but I don't want to pay for it. I don't want to have to just like, oh man, here's another $1,400. I got to pay for it. Just go into the car. And so I have equity in the car. I put $15,000 down towards it. Not that you would have to, but that's literally like the most I had to put down. Like I could only finance $71,000 and it was an $85,000 car. I was like, okay, my friends are doing Turo. They have C8s. They're making $4,000, $5,000 a month per C8.
Wow.
And I was like, how can I do this? And I talked to some other people on Facebook, and like this one dude is he's renting out like 30 cars a day. And they're anywhere from like a cheap like $5,000 car to like an old M6, like a 2016 M6. And he's making some crazy numbers. Like his end of year like numbers that he's supposed to say is like 360,000.
Wow.
And all of his cars are paid off. And he's been doing it for 2 or 3 years now. And so he
this
says
is
that
like
it took 8 months for his stuff to get paid off.
You would say this is a good hustle for people to be looking into currently.
One thing people need to understand is that you don't need to have money to get started. So my girlfriend, she has very small income, but she's gonna go to a dealership that my friend, he's a finance manager of it, like long-term friend, and so we're gonna get a really good deal for her. But she's gonna put no money down on a $14,000 car, like $8,000 to $14,000 car. She's gonna rent it out for anywhere from $60 to $80 a day, and it would cost like $15 a day just to pay for the car if you were to break it down per day. Car note's like $200 to $300 monthly, but the car can make like up to $100 a day. And that's with add-ons, that's with like prepaid mileage. That's part of the add-ons, like fuel. I mean, there's so many things that you can just make money on. Within like 2 days, the car is paid off basically. And people pay for like long-term trips. So let's say they get a Camry, not just for one day, because who's gonna get a Camry for one day? They're gonna come from like California to Houston. They're gonna pay for a Camry for like a week. And so then the car's basically rented out for a week. So four people can rent it out for a week, and then the car's like.
Oh, you're saying they're visiting Houston and they're gonna get a car for a week?
Yeah.
Okay. For a second, I was like, they're driving it from California.
No, or they just need a car.
Yeah.
Like, let's say they just need a car, and like maybe there's in service and their insurance isn't paying for it.
That happened to me when I almost died because a female was driving my car and totaled my vehicle. Can I Turo my Maxima and get an X6?
You can make $80 a day base for your Maxima. You can put it on my Turo account. It doesn't matter if it's in your name or not. I can put it on my account as long as you have your own personal insurance, and you will make 75% of what it gets rented out at. So let's say let's say somebody pays $100 for it. Turo makes 25, you make 75, and that's just part of like the insurance. That's how they make money. That's how they're able to cover cars. And I mean, I know Turo has their own insurance too.
And theoretically, I could also, because I'm still paying off my Maxima. It's like around $400 a month. But also, let's say I got like a new X6. I could rent out that X6 a couple days a month, and the monthly payment would be covered, and I could drive it the rest of the days.
For any X6 or X6M, it is the number one highest grossing car in Houston. So you will make per year 200% ROI on the car. So that means you just make 200% of the car basically.
So 6 months and the car's paid off.
So you can make a lot. You can make a lot of
But
money.
I'm not driving it because I'm having to rent it out.
You can still drive it though. But okay, then they need to get into this. Like, oh crap! Well, I have this X6. I have basically like one of my dream cars. What do I do now? You go buy another car, because now you have this stated income on your credit where you're making $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 a month. Let's just say, for example, you can use that to go out and say, hey, I'm making consistent income. I need to go out and buy another car, and then you can either buy it out on a business, which getting a business credit loan is completely different. That's just more stuff to get into, which is just hard to explain because there's so much stuff to get into that. But once they see that, hey, you're making this income from here, and then you have income from what you do now, they're gonna give you a crazy like low interest rate. Plus, you're able to get as many cars as you want, basically.
So, is the demand on Turo good enough to where most like people listening to this right now could go get a solid car and would make the income necessary, like pay it off, at least break even for a bit, and then start making profit?
Absolutely. My car's been on Turo for about a month now, and I've already made more than what my car payment is. So now it's kind of crazy because brand new account, literally brand new account. It's better for like the Turo algorithm if you have trips, if you have reviews, because it's only going to boost you even further. Because nobody's going to rent a car that has no reviews and no trips, most likely. I mean, for me, I got like my first rental within a few days, and I had no trips and no reviews. But then again, it was just the car that really drew people in.
Okay, so if someone went and got a Camry with no reviews, what would they?
That would probably rent out because Camry it's the number one car. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that would get reviews very fast.
Don't know like shit boxes.
I mean, you can, bro. You can get a Chevrolet.
$30 a day.
No, you can. You'd be surprised. like, whether it's
So what I'm
dented-
hearing is there's a demand in all like price ranges. Do they pick up the car, or you have to go drop it off to the
so
person?
it is a $70 or $65 option to drop off and pick up the car. So I take
That's
it to
worth
them,
it.
and I just have Grace take me. I just give her some gas, or I mean, I just pay for everything for Grace pretty much. Or today I just Ubered, and I kind of talked to the Uber guy. I was like, hey, bro, like I'm literally going to go pick up my car, and I was like, if you have any like extra cars at your house, like this is something that you could totally do, or even like
Yeah.
stop Uber, because he had like 8,000 trips on Uber, and that's just nonstop miles back and forth.
Yeah.
You can make more money on Turo than you can on Uber. I mean, hypothetically, because my M5 can make you $30,000 a year, 10 to 15 a year for car payment, because I'm gonna refi it for 6 months
30,000 total or 30,000 profit?
total. But you're
Okay.
making 15 grand a year.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just like from the numbers that I've seen so far. I mean,
Yeah.
that's just what I can
So
make.
you're making the payments, and then you have some extra,
That's just free money.
and you
Turo-
can go
Turo-
get another car with that.
Exactly. Turo
Yeah.
covers any incidentals, so any damage, anything. Like, let's say there's a spill in your seat, you got to pay for somebody to help get the spill out. Turo pays for it. Let's say somebody scratches or keys it, Turo pays for it. Let's say somebody totals your car, Turo will give you a crazy number to replace the car, and it doesn't even go on your
Okay,
own
so you don't
thing.
have to stress about them making a big mistake and like destroying your insurance and stuff.
No. Let's say I make an extra $2,000 a month. That's an extra $2,000 that I didn't make. So maybe I'm making, let's say, multiple 6 figures a month. I can just add $2,000 a month. Maybe I just want to like go out and buy an Airbnb property.
Yeah.
That money that I can make from the profit of my car being rented out goes towards a property to pay for it if I need to. Because if I buy something, I make sure it either holds value, it's a cash asset, or it can make me money. Because
Yeah.
otherwise, if I'm just buying it for no reason, like that's stupid. That's how you lose money. A year from now, whenever I have 10, 20 cars,
You're gonna have a fleet.
then it's going to be like, okay, you're making like 300K a year, and now it makes sense. Now it's a whole other like crazy like CEO income that you're making
Yeah.
that you wouldn't have already been making. And then I can
That's
go
true.
hire, let's say I hire you to manage it all. You can make 50% of that income. And then I can just build another business around that. Just buy more cars, make more money. In the end, like, let's say you have one customer, you're not going to make much money from one customer. The more customers, the more revenue, the more sales you get, you make more money from that. But like, I mean, you got to start somewhere, right?
Yeah.